As humans, our insatiable curiosity drives us to constantly seek control over the future, or at least the very least attempt to predict its course. We find ourselves constantly pondering where we will be in the next years, plagued by worries of events yet to transpire. But here's the kicker: our predictions are frequently proven wrong, especially when it comes to those deemed experts in foreseeing the future. Consider, for instance, the proclamation made by Time magazine in 1966. They declared that remote shopping would undoubtedly fail. Oh, how wrong they were. Today, a staggering 70% of the US population indulges in the convenience of online shopping. And who could forget the infamous words uttered by Edward J. Smith, captain of the doomed Titanic, before its ill-fated departure? "I cannot conceive of any vital disaster happening to this vessel. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that." If only reality had aligned with his unwavering confidence. Alas, we now find ourselves mourning Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet's iconic scene, forever graced by the tragedy that unfolded that night. In this video, we will explore what the world might look like 300 years from now, as our descendants stumble upon it on this old platform known as insane curiosity. They'll surely chuckle at our audacity to believe that certain predictions could ever become a reality. Number 1. Moon settling and exploration. Did you know that there are big plans on the horizon? People all over the world are working hard to make it possible for humans to live on the moon. Imagine, one day we could have astronauts living and working on our satellite neighbor. By the 2030s, NASA is hoping to send regular missions to the moon, and they have a special goal in mind: the first woman and person of color to walk on the moon. Can you imagine what an amazing achievement that would be? But that's not all. They're also planning to build something called the Lunar Gateway. It's like a space station, but instead of orbiting Earth, it will be orbiting the moon. This will serve as a base for lunar missions and help us explore even more. And here's the really cool part: we will be able to build sustainable infrastructure on the moon. This means we can create homes, generate power, and use the moon's resources to support our astronauts. We'll use technology like what we have on Earth to extract water ice from underground and turn it into liquid water. This will be a game changer for space exploration. By 2050, we might even see a lunar economy starting to take shape. Just imagine the possibilities. But of course, we'll need rules and regulations for mining and other activities on the moon. Who gets to do what? It's something we'll have to figure out. But here's the most exciting part: the moon is just the beginning. With all the knowledge and technology we gain from this lunar adventure, we will be one step closer to exploring Mars and beyond. Let me show you what the plan looks like. Number 2. Mars settling and exploration. Settling on Mars has long been a dream of space enthusiasts and scientists alike, and over the years, various plans and strategies have been proposed to make this dream a reality. While the feasibility of settling on Mars is a complex topic, significant progress has been made, and the concept is indeed within the realm of possibility. However, the timeline for establishing a sustainable human presence on Mars remains uncertain and faces numerous challenges. The journey to Mars involves several key components and challenges, each of which contributes to the complexity of this endeavor. For instance, how do you ensure a safe transport of humans to Mars? Consider this: a one-way trip to Mars takes at least more than half a year. Projects like NASA's Artemis and SpaceX's Starship are at the forefront of this research, and they aim to reduce travel times, increase cargo capacity, and enhance the reusability of spacecraft, which is crucial for sustainable Mars missions. Moreover, it is crucial to find a way to provide astronauts on the spacecraft with oxygen, water, and food, while effectively managing waste and recycling resources. Experts from all areas of science are currently contributing with passion to this goal. For instance, they're trying to replicate a self-sustaining environment made of plants, something like a greenhouse, a green environment from which astronauts will benefit during their trips. It is actually more challenging to come up with something like that, given it has to be enduring the harsh conditions in space. However, if they ever managed to get out to Mars, our astronauts could easily manage to grow plants and veggies on the red planet. It's quite similar to Earth if seen from that point of view. The Mars atmosphere, composed mainly of carbon dioxide, lacks the oxygen required for human respiration, making life support technology a critical component of any Mars mission. As you can understand, the current state of technology doesn't allow us to settle and explore Mars. However, we can be confident that things will change in the next 300 years. By that time, we expect to be able to completely shield astronauts from the cosmic radiation coming from the Sun on Mars. Indeed, this planet lacks a strong magnetic field and thick atmosphere, which means its surface is exposed to higher levels of cosmic and solar radiation than Earth. Designing spacecraft and habitats that shield against these radiation hazards is a critical consideration for long-term Mars missions. It's always hard to predict a timeline for such an ambitious project, but some projections estimate that a crewed Mars mission could occur in the 2040s or 2050s. Feasibility hinges on addressing these challenges and demonstrating the ability to sustain human life on Mars for extended periods. It is a complex endeavor that will require continued innovation, international cooperation, and substantial financial investments. Additionally, ethical considerations surrounding planetary protection and the potential impact on Martian ecosystems, if they exist, must be carefully addressed. However, the Moon and Mars explorations are not the only exciting things we will witness in the next 300 years. For example, what about medical progress? Number 3. Genetic diseases cured. The genes in your body's cells play a key role in your health. Indeed, a defective gene or genes can make you sick. Recognizing this, scientists have worked for decades on ways to modify genes or replace faulty genes with healthy ones to treat, cure, or prevent a disease or medical condition. This research is paying off, as advancements in science and technology today are changing the way we define disease, develop drugs, and prescribe treatments. The one thing you need to know is that genes and cells are intimately related. In this very moment, thousands of genes hang out within the cells of your body. They provide the information to produce specific proteins that help make up the cells. These are the basic building blocks of all living beings. The human body is composed of trillions of them. You understand then that when a gene or genes are defective, it can lead to various illnesses. Some individuals are born with missing or defective genes. Additionally, healthy genes can mutate during our lifetime due to environmental factors. It's important to note that not all mutations result in disease, but certain inherited or acquired mutations can cause developmental disorders, neurological diseases, and cancer. Now, brand new gene therapy offers various approaches to addressing these issues. One method involves replacing missing problematic genes. Another approach involves adding them to the body to aid in disease treatment. In some cases, genes that are causing problems can even be regulated or turned off. But how do scientists replace and insert new good genes? They use a vehicle called a vector. Currently, viruses are the most commonly used vectors in gene therapies because of their natural ability to transport genes into cells. Don't be scared. Before being used in gene therapies, these viruses are modified to eliminate their potential to cause diseases. The potential of gene therapy extends to treating a wide range of diseases, including cancer, cystic fibrosis, heart disease, diabetes, hemophilia, and AIDS. However, before gene therapy can be approved for human use, extensive clinical studies are conducted to evaluate its safety and effectiveness. This assessment is crucial in determining whether the potential benefits outweigh the potential risks. Looking ahead, it is expected that the challenges and limitations of gene therapy will be addressed and resolved in the next 100 years. If this becomes reality, it has the potential to significantly enhance human life expectancy and overall well-being. This is really exciting and incredibly good news. Number 4. Wars and natural disasters. However, in this unpredictable world, one thing remains certain. Bad news will strike like an uncontrollable earthquake. It is an uncomfortable truth that wars and conflicts will only increase in the coming years. As powerful dynamics shift in Asia, the continent will witness its fair share of clashes. However, it is Africa, with its youthful population, that will become the epicenter of most conflicts. As African nations grow in size, wealth, and influence, these conflicts will extend their impact to the entire world. Brace yourselves for the looming disasters that lie ahead. Among the countless risks that await us, one in particular holds grave consequences: the possibility of technology further deepening the divide between the rich and the poor. 300 years in the future, the gap between the wealthiest and most powerful individuals and the rest of society could solidify into a new form of feudalism. Such a consequence would be nearly impossible to reverse, entrenching the disparities that already plague our world. Imagine a future where access to cutting-edge technology becomes a privilege of the elite, while the underprivileged are left further behind. The rich will soar to new heights of innovation, gliding effortlessly on the wings of AI, robotics, and biotechnology. Meanwhile, the less fortunate will struggle to keep up, trapped in a cycle of poverty exacerbated by this technological disparity. As we navigate the uncertain path ahead, it is vital to acknowledge the potential consequences of our technological advancements. We must strive for a future where technology serves as an equalizer, bridging the divide between the haves and the have-nots rather than solidifying it. Number 5. The depletion of fossil fuels. In the next 300 years, the world will change a lot. Fossil fuels will be used up and there will be more people. But how fast will this happen? There are a few things to think about when it comes to using fossil fuels. First, different kinds of fossil fuels will run out at different times. Oil will be gone by 2052, coal in 150 years, and we have about 400 years left of natural gas. If we keep using fossil fuels the way we are now, they will all be used up by 2060. This might sound scary, but there are other options. Solar and wind power, for example, can provide energy in a more sustainable way. We might even have electric cars in the future, which would be better for the environment. Using electric cars instead of cars that run on petrol or diesel would help a lot. They don't put out as many harmful gases into the air, so they don't damage the planet as much. As science gets better, hopefully we can find even more alternatives to fossil fuels and stop using them completely. It won't be easy to deal with the loss of fossil fuels, but humans have always been good at adapting. We will find a way to keep going, just like we always have. So even though the future might seem uncertain, we can have hope that we will figure it out. Hey, before moving on, be sure to like or dislike the video so that we can improve them for you, the viewer. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by making sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Number 6. First mission to the closest exoplanet. Have you ever dreamed of what it would be like to live on another planet? With recent discoveries by the Hubble and James Webb telescopes, that dream might not be so far-fetched. The James Webb telescope has detected an exoplanet called K2-18b, which is 8.6 times the size of Earth. What makes this discovery even more exciting is that it has shown signs of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Scientists believe that K2-18b could potentially be a Hycean exoplanet, meaning it could have a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and a water ocean-covered surface. This combination of elements could create the perfect conditions for life as we know it. But how can we find out for sure if this exoplanet is truly habitable? The answer lies in sending a probe directly to K2-18b. It won't be an easy task, as it will require groundbreaking technology and expertise. However, there is a project called Breakthrough Starshot that aims to do just that. Breakthrough Starshot is an ambitious project that plans to send a satellite to the closest known exoplanet to us, located in the Alpha Centauri star system. The goal is to reach this exoplanet within the next 30 years. This would be a monumental achievement in space exploration, as it would be the first time we have ever sent a probe to another solar system. The Breakthrough Starshot project involves using laser beams to propel a lightweight spacecraft to incredible speeds. The satellite would be equipped with various instruments to study the exoplanet up close, gathering valuable data about its atmosphere, surface, and potential for life. Imagine what else we could be capable of doing in 300 years then. Number 7. Artificial intelligence in our daily lives. Technology is constantly evolving, and there's no doubt that it will continue to advance at an exponential pace in the next 300 years. But here's the exciting part. Artificial intelligence, AI, will not only play a significant role in our daily lives, but it will also revolutionize various industries. Let's start with transportation. Self-driving cars are no longer just a thing of science fiction. These autonomous vehicles, although not perfect yet, are steadily improving and will one day become the norm. In fact, did you know that California has already embraced self-driving taxis? Imagine hopping into a cab without a driver, free to relax or catch up on your favorite TV show while the AI takes care of the driving. Sure, there have been some incidents during testing, but in 300 years, these robo-taxis will undoubtedly become one of the safest means of transportation. Education is another area where AI will make a profound impact. Forget traditional textbooks. AI is digitizing them, making learning a more personalized and interactive experience. Machine learning, natural language processing, and facial recognition are used to detect plagiarism, analyze students' emotions, and tailor educational content to their specific needs. No more struggling or getting bored in class. AI will ensure that every student gets the education they deserve. Now let's talk about AI healthcare. With its ability to analyze massive amounts of data, AI is revolutionizing the medical field. It can detect diseases faster and with greater accuracy than ever before, speeding up diagnosis and treatment. AI is even assisting in drug recovery, potentially finding cures for diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries. And if that's not impressive enough, virtual nursing assistants powered by AI are now monitoring patients, providing round-the-clock care and support. In short, the future is bright and filled with AI wonders. From self-driving cars to personalized education and groundbreaking healthcare advancements, AI is set to transform our lives in ways we can't even imagine. You better be ready for it. Number 8. Space tourism. The global space tourism industry is predicted to grow with the development of new space technologies, making space tours more affordable. In the next 10 years, middle-class individuals will be able to choose space tours, which will bring profitable revenues for space tourism companies. Currently, Virgin Galactic offers space trips on a monthly basis, and the prices have significantly decreased compared to a few years ago. Previously costing $20 million, the price is now $450,000. These prices are expected to decrease even further in the coming decades. It is anticipated that in the next 300 years, space travel will become very inexpensive. If given the opportunity, would you go to space? Number 9. The change of population. Have you ever wondered how the world population will change in the next 300 years? In terms of numbers, the predictions made for 2300 is we will have a population of 9 billion and people regularly living to 100. During the mid-20th century, the world experienced a substantial increase in population. Notably, the United States, China, and India all underwent what was known as the baby boom phenomenon. However, as globalization and industrialization progressed across the globe, and particularly in countries such as China, strict measures were implemented to control population growth, causing a decline in birth rates. The data illustrates that despite the initial population explosion, these nations have seen a recent decline in childbirth rates. Presently, the average number of children per woman stands at approximately 2.5, resulting in ongoing population growth. Nonetheless, this rate is gradually decreasing, signaling that population growth will eventually stabilize or potentially diminish if it falls below replacement fertility levels, which refers to the necessary number of children required to maintain a stable population. According to the United Nations 2300 report, this declining trend is predicted to taper off around the 2130s, stabilizing at replacement fertility levels. These estimations suggest that although the population is growing at the moment, it will reach a plateau in the future. Number 10. Weather manipulation. Lastly, we may soon have the ability to control the weather, and I'll explain how. One simple way to do this is through cloud seeding, which can make it rain. To do this, we disperse special materials into clouds either through aircraft or ground generators. These materials then change the process happening inside the clouds. For example, they can introduce more condensation or ice particles to adjust the humidity by adding specific particles. When using aircraft, we release the seeding agent above or within the cloud. There are different ways to perform cloud seeding, such as using burn-in-place or ejectable flares, or using generators or hygroscopic systems for warm clouds. However, it is important to note that studies have shown that this technique is not very effective in ending a drought. But who knows? With further research and development, weather manipulation could become a useful tool to combat climate change 300 years from now. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts about how life will be 300 years in the future? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time on the channel.